Pokémon Horizons is the newest Pokémon anime, complete with a fresh new cast of characters, a more serialized storyline, and some brutal as heck villains. Now, because of the first anime's legacy, it caused a lot of discussion around the show to devolve into comparing it to Ash's journey, and even people using any sort of context clue to theorycraft when and if Ash is returning. I personally never cared to do that and prefer to discuss the series on its own merits, so let's review the most insane episode of it today. Roy is a Crocolore, and Crocolore is a Roy is the 69th, not making the joke, episode of Pokémon Horizons. Now, one thing you should know going in is that Horizons is a lot more serialized than the main anime. Sure, there was technically an ongoing storyline, with Ash getting badges for the League, but that's more long-term, and there's a ton of episodes that can be viewed in a vacuum. Here, it's an ongoing storyline of the heroes trying to solve a mystery of the mysterious Pokémon or MacGuffin, and each season of Horizons split up into clear arcs. I say this since this episode does start with a recap of where they are in the plot. This is thankfully the second episode of a major arc, so all you need to know is that Liko, Roy, and Dot have been Terra training at the Scarlet and Violet Academy and are going to Kitakami to find Briar, who is studying Terrapagos, this adorable turtle here. Okay, that's enough preamble, let's get into it. So they arrive at this place that should be very familiar if you've played Scarlet and Violet's DLC and learn there's a harvest festival, and think it's a good place to go around asking for Briar's whereabouts. They run into Carmine, and Freed spends the rest of the episode destroying her in carnival games.
True perfection, don't you think?
Pikachu.
And her anger is just as hilarious as in the games.
You just got lucky!
And for the main plot, Roy and Crocolore wander away from the group and find a strange device.
You're selling it, but you don't know what it is?
No, I found it lying in a pile of garbage with some other junk and...
Sounds ethically questionable, but whatever. So Roy and Crocolore press the button and then...
Why am I looking at me? A Crocolore and I... Have we switched bodies?
Yep, Pokemon's doing this plot. Now I'm sure if you grew up on Western cartoons like I did, you'd know that the body swap plot is a staple of common episode types. Heck, not even just cartoons. Freaky Friday is the most famous example. And of course, in the world of anime, we got Your Name. And heck, Pokemon itself did this briefly in Temple of the Sea with Team Rocket swapping, though it wasn't for the whole movie. This episode takes it a step farther by asking, what if a human swapped bodies with a Pokemon? I mean, yeah, I guess Team Rocket technically does that too, but Meowth is practically a tiny human anyway. What makes this interesting is that unlike Meowth, Crocolore can't talk. So we end up getting a Crocolore voice that speaks. And we even get some comedy of hearing Crocolore lingo coming out of Roy.
Crocolore!
This makes me wonder what it's like to voice a Pokemon, actually. Like, I'm just imagining going inside the booth, shouting, Pika, 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 for an hour, and then actually thinking, yep, this is what I do for a living. Though I do wish Crocolore could talk like Roy, because you know me and my fanfics about talking Pokemon. Anyway, they're told to not tell anyone about this when Crocolore runs out, and Roy gets to experience the joys of running as a Pokemon.
The view from here is so different! So this is how Crocolore sees the world!
Crocolore only has 49 speed BTW, literally its worst stat. We got Crocolore as Roy, trying to talk to Liko and Dot, and I honestly like to think the other two starters figured out immediately that it's in his body. He seems smart enough to go, dude, what are you doing? Liko and Dot find out once Crocoroy blurts something out.
It's...
Crocolore, you can talk?
So Roy tells them to keep it a secret and...
If you see any treats you want, they're on me.
Alright!
Huh?
Crocolore's just being Crocolore!
Crocolore!
The move Gaslighting was super effective.
Crocolore used its flame to caramelize the candy and bake the apple inside to the perfect consistency?
It's a baked caramelized candy apple miracle!
Guess this is my first time really talking about Horizons on this channel. I should bring up that the Rising Volt Tacklers are really fun and can be total dorks. Murdoch especially. My favorite of the group is Dot, but she's not the focus, so I'll save her if I ever review one of her episodes.
I'd rather we avoid side quests, but...
I agree.
Now, this episode does require the characters to be a bit dumb for the plot to work.
Crocolore, did I just hear you? Right, so for the sores...
I really do have sores galore.
Which of course you guys have seen me complain about with good old North Petalburg, but I can let it slide here since, given Roy and the shopkeeper's reaction to the device, plus Liko and Dot's reaction earlier, Pokemon swapping bodies with a human isn't exactly a common occurrence, so it's not a conclusion the average Joe would jump to. A good chunk of Roy and Crocolor's plot involves running into the adults of the Rising Volt Tacklers and trying to hide it from them. There's a ton of ways body swap episodes can go, and this is one of the common ones. Body swap episodes also tend to be a good excuse to have a character's experience what it's like in someone else's shoes, and seeing how they react to it and the various situations it gets them into. Here, they take advantage of the fact that Roy is in the body of a Pokemon and have him react to suddenly having fire powers. He accidentally uses his flamethrower to bake a caramel apple and here tries to use it on a grill only to find it hard to control the fire. And similar to other body swap episodes, it's used as a way to deepen the bond between those who are swapped, as Crocolor gives Crocoroy the encouragement needed to get the flame perfect. But all good things come to an end as the device is now fixed and Roy and Crocolor swap back. I'm just wondering what the origins of this device is. Who invented it? Why was it in the trash? Why would one dispose of something in working condition that can be very dangerous? Honestly, you could probably get a whole movie based on that device alone. This kind of thing could have been concocted by a mad scientist of an evil team depending on the angle they're going for. Liko and Dot also want to use the device to swap with their Pokemon, but sadly, it malfunctions. Seemed faulty, but we do get a vague idea on where it came from.
Huh. There's some faded writing here on the back. Synchro machine?
But still, Liko being pre-evolved Magician Cat would have been cool. But if there's another highlight to this episode, it's Carmine. I didn't touch on her too much since it was a subplot, but her constantly losing to Freed and her anger from it was hilarious.
Hey, you! You, me, and a game of ring toss now!
She's just a really funny character overall.
Hate to break it to you, but there's no way the caretaker would give outsiders permission to...
You have my permission to go.
She's as memorable as she was in the games. But yeah, pretty fun episode that I hope is enough to convince you to watch more of Horizons. There's a lot more stuff I want to say about the show, but I kind of want to wait till certain plot points wrap up and I actually get caught up on it. I guess since I don't have a gag to end this off with, I'm gonna say that if you like body swap plots with a hint of romance, go read the webcomic Switch S. It's done by a good friend of mine who also does the art for my webcomic and even drew this very avatar. It's got some really fun character dynamics and an engaging story. I'll link it in the description. But until then, I gotta go feed little Chico and...
Chica?
Wait, don't touch that button! Chica!